Not that that is
It
particular.
is still generally the same. Young folk down on their luck, looking for a quick bump into fame or money. Mercenaries contracted out. Generally the same.
Fair enough.
You're one of the stranger groups that come in. You're not dressed for the place. At all. It's quite concerning, actually.
We have our own methods.
You get bit by the wrong thing and it won't be pretty.
Yes, fighting, that would...
What
Kalmir starts thinking.
what animals, because I know you did state that the line between human and animal here is pretty thin. Are we talking your standard dogs, cats, alligators? Or are we talking about more unique fare when it does come to the non-two-legged, bent over on all fours, slobbering at the mouth?
You've got plenty of the old wildlife that used to be here. It's all quite twisted now, and whether or not you can recognize what a dog used to be from these creatures depends how good your not taxidermy, whatever.
Taxonomy.
Taxonomy, yeah, is. Of course, there's plenty of the new creatures don't have an easy, comfortable solution to where they came from, what they came from. Those are generally where that line where human is kind of gets muddled a little bit. There's, feral, completely feral creatures made from the old locals here. And there are some that allegedly are still somewhat sentient, but they're still dangerous. And they're generally shot. When you spend too long here, poking around in places where you shouldn't probably be without the right gear, you'll end up like them.
Could we get some of this gear in the town you spoke of?
If you're willing to pay for it. There's plenty of old war profiteers looking to peddle goods here now. Might be able to convince one of them, someone to part with extra gear, but any surplus gear is always bought up by the quote-unquote traders, they like to call themselves.
By gear, are we referring to your standard, he kind of eyes this person up and down a little bit, hazmat set that you have? Or are we talking more specific?
Well, you're gonna want filters for a mask, you're gonna want something to keep the dust off you. The Geiger's always a good thing to carry with you, especially when the dust storms come in.
Unfortunately, mine is in the shop. It always kept going off with that foo around, and Tullus kind of nods his head at Stahl.
I just glare back.
I'm just gonna. Jared doesn't react to that, but you're just gonna say that?
Just gonna out him. It's his choice.
It's not like
choice.
it's not like this person's gotta get the joke.
No, they wouldn't. But no, you're gonna want rations. You don't want to eat the wildlife too much if you can avoid it. It's not that tasty or healthy. But sometimes in a pinch, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gonna want medicines, detoxes, med supplies. Can't forget ammunition. I'd always recommend saving one for yourself, just in case. The list goes on and on, depending how deep you're going.
All right, well, I do.
Depending, I guess, what your purpose is. If you're trying to make some money, then you're gonna want a scanner tuned to this place's unique frequencies.
As in a radio transmitter of some sort? Or radio receiver, sorry. Let me correct myself there before Cherry does.
Radio's the easiest way to describe it, yeah. It's...
Where on the band?
Oh, if only it was on the band. There was one of the researcher guys. I used to sell parts from the local wildlife. He was real interested in the old, I guess the old boar, whatever they are now, boars. He wanted livers. Don't ask me why. All I know is he paid good money for them. But he was rambling on about how this place works, and in one ear, right out the other, I'll be honest with you.
He seems important. Do you know?
He's dead, don't worry.
Of course.
He died a year and a half ago. Unfortunate accident with
A boar.
one of the... No, not a boar. He didn't leave the safety of his little lab. Unfortunate accident with a mislabeling of an artifact. Sent the lab up in from what I heard, quite a beautiful fireball. You ever seen green fire before?
Huh?
I'm aware of chemicals that can create green fire.
I had a friend that threw a certain metal into a fire and it burned green.
Well, I think I want to thank you for your time. You've answered quite a few questions. I feel like our best stop, though, is to head into town then and see if we actually need to procure anything.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you're not swallowed by this place before you find what you're looking for. Too many folks are these days. Oh, that's another thing. You might be able to find what you're looking for if you comb the wilds enough. A lot of unfortunate folks meet their end out here. Of course, they're usually picked over pretty quickly, but, you know, it's always an option if you're not got the funds.
Hollis kind of nods and goes back to sit in the driver's seat. He's finished discussing things with this person. If anybody else wants to pick up the conversation, that's on them.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, well, we thank you for this information. It'll help us in our journey. I am Kalmir. What is your name? You've been very helpful.
Karina.
Karina.
I already had this written down.
Oh, prepared.
Oh, I prepared. This is the extent of my preparation. No.
What is your backstory? Give me your history. Yes, I thank you. That will be very helpful in our journey. And I hope whoever you're looking for will come soon.
They better. Or else I'm not taking another contract with them.
And with that, Tullus would pull the door shut and we would begin to drive on.
Oh, wait. You said this was a fork. Which way are we going?
Left.
Left. Okay.
Yeah.
I misheard that then.
They just stated straight on ahead, so Tullus is going to follow that direction.
Would have assumed they kind of like pointed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't mention it. Yeah, straight on ahead. Don't go either road. You just go through the. No.
Off-roading with the RV yet again.
Oh
There you go. All right, so it's another. You see the signs a lot sooner than you get there. It's about a 30-minute drive.
Vitus wakes up, or comes to, so to speak, and it's just like, I had the strangest dream.
Dreams can be important. What did you dream about?
I was stuck at a crossroad for a while.
Okay.
I couldn't decide which way to go. Kind of just shakes his head as if he's just coming out of a stupor of some sort.
Well, that happened, sort of. We did come to a crossroads and got some information from someone there, but we couldn't decide, so we went the way she pointed us towards.
Vitus is quiet for a moment and then goes, "This could become increasingly problematic if this continues."
Is this something that happens often with you?
Not in recent memory. This hopefully is the first and last time it'll happen.
Do you know what caused it? Perhaps we can avoid it in the future.
Unfortunately, thinks for a second. The damage is done to my psyche, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is a symptom rather than the problem. The problem being my condition in of itself.
Oh, I see. I have nothing for your condition. Your condition is beyond my means, unfortunately.
Just let me know before we come across any more so I can get out and find a way around.
How do you plan to exist in a city?
Well, at this time, I do not plan to exist in a city. I plan to exist in this RV for the most part. As long as I'm not driving, the issue is a minor inconvenience.
Is this something that you need to be aware of? Or is this something beyond your knowledge?
It's just something I will have to live with from this point on.
That sounds difficult. Sorry, I have nothing to offer you.
Alright, so it's about 30 minutes of driving until this village is apparent. It is not it's not a impressive place, really. It's a collection of a dozen or so houses. But they've got a little perimeter fence constructed, and there's a number of people milling about the place. Most of them are dressed in a very similar garb as the other individual. There's variation all over the place, but it is generally a heavier outfit. The majority have masks on, some don't.
So if there's a perimeter fence, is there a gate, or is it just open?
It just doesn't go all the way around.
Oh, okay.
It kind of fences off some of the outskirts, but the road is open.
Okay.
As you drive up, people do take notice because, well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of functioning cars around here. But there's not a huge panic or rush. It's mostly people taking notice and going about whatever they were doing beforehand.
At least we're not being charged down by horses this time. It's an improvement.
You were charged by horses? That's... Where was this? I have not seen a single horse anywhere.
Yes, you were indisposed at the moment. You had went off with Stahl.
Oh, it was then. Well, it's nice to know that there's still horses and natural things in this place.
Vitus chuckles somewhat. I wouldn't call them natural horses, but, you know, we don't have time to discuss that.
Not that I'm sure. I doubt those horses exist at the moment anyway.
So we have arrived in this village, it seems. Do we want to look for this gear she spoke of, or more information? Continue on and try and find the center of this area. Apparently that's a big thing. Plant, they called it.
So, with this, Vitus is gonna kind of look around outside the window. How big is this place, and how many intersecting roads are there?
Plenty. It's not very big. It's mostly... It's like... Here, hold on.
Ooh.
I can use the power of technology. The stream can't see this, but...
Oh, great.
It's mostly like a main road. There's a side road. It kind of turns.
So there's two.
Yeah, but, you know.
It might be best for me to stay in this vehicle. I will work on a solution if there is one.
I guess in the meantime, I'll go ahead and investigate with everyone else.
Okay, so who's heading into this village?
Tallis actually gets up to go in, but Vitus calls him back. Wants to discuss something with him, so it'll just be Titania. That goes with everybody else.
Okay. Is everybody else going?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. What are we looking for? Information? Supplies?
What do we even need from there, really?
Well, there's nothing we really need, but it might be... I'm speaking out of character, by the way. It might be good to have some of this gear so that we blend a little better, not stick out like a sore thumb. don't know.
Titania is going to start looking around for like any sort of library that they might have.
Oh, that sounds smart.
There's
Or-
no library here.
Well, any place that looks like it might store any sort of records, information.
The only place that they could probably be storing information is an old storm cellar. That kind of seems reinforced. Old, like, concrete storm cellar off the side of the one house. The doors are open, but all these other houses, they're here. But there's holes in the roofs, windows are missing. There's probably not any serious record keeping going on.
Unfortunately, it looks like if we want any sort of information, we're probably going to have to talk to people. It's all going to be oral traditions here. Kind of shoots a look at Kalmir.
This is the only kind of history taking. What is passed down from the elders to the young, to their young.
I'll have to teach you how to read and write one day.
I'm not exactly a people's person, so I'll leave it to you guys. And yeah, maybe I'll look around just to see. Just to check the place out, I guess. See if I find anything.
Okay.
Titania's gonna go looking for anybody that seems like they might actually have knowledge on the area rather than just some random, like, tween off the street.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of just random people off the street here, it looks like. But eventually there is an individual who seems to have taken up almost residence in one of these buildings and has kind of taken it over, essentially. Seems to be running some, like, rudimentary bar, essentially. But it's one of the only people here that isn't just dressed in, like, the same fatigues and sitting around campfires or talking amongst themselves or cleaning weapons, etc. Walking in, you know, they of course greet you, as such a business owner does. But beyond that, they're back to their work pretty quickly. Sorting. Essentially, boxes, bottles, strange items.
Titania's gonna go ahead and sit down. Is anybody else with her from the group? Or did she kind of break off from everybody?
I think she seemed to have a good eye for where she was going, so I think Kalmir might follow her.
What's she doing again? I'm sorry, my brain has been turned too much.
She's searching for people that might actually know something and has stumbled upon essentially an old makeshift bar / general goods store, strange shop.
Saloon.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Mix
else.
it everything.
Kalmir will be
else.
looking at all the weird things in there.
I would probably actually come to, because a bar seems like the most fun you could probably have in a place.
Can you get drunk?
I think we discussed this.
Did we? I don't remember.
I think this came up in the Promethean game.
Yeah.
Probably.
I
We
don't
did
remember.
go to a bar, you're right. but I don't
Only for
remember.
a brief moment. But
Yeah.
that's off track.
So what's a girl got to do to get a drink around here?
You gotta pay for it.
No problem.
The old days paying for each other's drink.
I'll buy
Not
me and
around.
and everybody that's with me a drink.
What are you having? Vodka or piss?
That makes the choice very, very clear. Vodka.
That's a wise choice.
And then she actually removes a few gold denarius coins from her pocket and kind of tosses them over.
Oh, snap.
What collector's old house did you dig these up out of?
It's the standard currency where I come from.
Oh, I should have known by the garb. You're those outlander folks, the outsiders. After the border broke down, military disappeared.
I feel like this is actually a time that I haven't mentioned what the hell Titania's wearing.
What is she wearing?
Probably not very much.
For the simplest explanation, Gorgeria silks, essentially.
I don't know what that is. Sounds like that's where they got the word gorgeous from.
No, it is not.
Oh.
If anybody knows the books of gore, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and then their jaw's gonna drop and hit the floor. However,
Describe.
no.
But
She just
I
basically says they are just the standard currency of my land. I mean, if you don't want to take them, I can take them back.
Yeah, they're probably worth more than the paper that floats around here half the time.
gold is gold, right?
What? What? What nation was this once?
Well, how far back you want to go? This used to be the old Soviet Union.
Okay.
Now we're on the border of mostly Ukraine, Belarus, depending who you really want to ask. Who drew the map? Ukraine, modern day. That was the military. Oh, they had plenty of Russian support, but
Sherry is the only person who understands what those words mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of things are different between here and I'm sure where you're from and where I'm from. Is there anything else that you can tell us about this area that it's more pertinent to the present?
well, I mean, if you haven't seen them already, there's the mutants. There's the effects. There's the reality the reality breaks. There's well, more mutants. There's the more humanoid ones. There's the dangerous ones. It wasn't too long ago. They dragged a body back here. He was alive. Didn't look like it. Comatose. Another unfortunate victim of those damn bloodsuckers. They got a whole hospice care for the survivors. But well, they very rarely wake up. I suppose really your information depends what you're here for. Are you here looking for artifacts? Or are you here for hunting?
We are not quite sure at this point, I will admit. That sounds like a cop-out answer. My brain is still processing what they said because I'm terrible at listening. I'm sorry.
Kalmir's ears perked up at artifacts.
It does depend. We are in search of something incredibly specific. However, this thing also can take the form of people, even places, so that is why my companion here is unsure of how to answer. Unfortunately, our employers point us in a direction and say, hey, go get this thing, and pretty much all they give us.
Well, you're looking for big things, huh? Plenty of folk come in looking for stuff like that. Do you want the truth or do you want the stories?
We'll start with the stories and then move on to the truth, because usually the real answer's right in the middle of them.
Then you're probably here for the same reason there's so many other young folk coming here. There's an old myth going around. Center of this place, right at the old reactor. Some kind of device. They call it the Dream Granter. They say it can make anything come true. No one's ever reached it. No one will. It's not really there. I'm not convinced. Every soul that thinks they've finally found where it's hiding, they set out. They never come back. Sometimes we drag, maybe a boot back. Sometimes a rifle. If I had to give you advice, you turn around before you meet the same fate. But I can't stop you. No one will. More folk that die out there are just more bodies to loot and resell, I suppose, for a lot of these scoundrels around.
Look. Admittedly, we are looking for something that we know exists, though we do not know what it is. So, but
All I know exist are the mutants and the things that sell for quite a lot around here. The artifacts. Yeah. And he kind of, scrounges around behind a quote-unquote counter. It's quite not exactly what you'd expect to see at a commercial place. But he pulls out something. It's not much larger than a baseball, but it looks like bone. And it's a very almost mesh-like tanglement of bone. This thing don't look like much, but it'll stitch up your wounds. You carry this on you, and a bullet no longer is a death sentence out there. And luckily, it doesn't really kill you. Not exactly radioactive. It's a common one, but it's a valuable one for its effects. Of course, not all are quite as simple. Some are more likely to just kill you with radiation poisoning. And some are more likely to just turn you into one of the mutants. But people pay top dollar for these. And there are big ones out there. Stories that get passed around. I don't listen too much to them, because I know if they come through my door and they're trying to pawn them off to me, I can't afford them. And they won't come to me. They're going directly to those collectors on the other side of the border. Maybe you're looking for one of those. I don't know.
Titania is gonna kind of gesture with a finger, kind of at Kalmir and then to the item.
Yeah, I'm looking for the spell.
Or at least mage sight it. Out of game.
There's gonna be something on there.
I know there's a spell in Prime that will tell me, what an artifact is and how it works.
Well, it might not be a mage term or artifact.
Yeah, that's my
That's
thinking.
true.
That's why I was more thinking just
But it can probably.
mage sight.
At very least, you can probably read at least if he's telling the truth with life or forces.
Dang. I mean, I'll look at it with Mage Sight. I guess Prime would be the main one if I'm looking for spell effects.
Yeah, so Prime, it is not a supernal artifact, however. But you automatically basically flick on forces as well, and it is faintly glowing radiation. And not even that it's like touched in radiation, it is radioactive.
Oh.
Not a whole lot. It's very, very minor. To the fact that you could probably carry this with you your entire life directly next to your brain and you're not going to get cancer from it. But it is more radioactive than, like, say, the dirt.
So it's like a banana.
Sort of. A little more than a banana.
I'm sorry.
Bananas be the real deadly thing out here.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Oh, I found it. So, Supernal Vision, Prime 1. It does work on effects other than Supernal, although there's no guarantee that I know what that aura is.
Okay. Let me pull up Prime.
Yeah, it's on page 166. Top of the page.
Prime technically involves, like, things that are generally some forms of magic that aren't supernal, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
This thing just looks like a tasty morsel to Stahl. He wants to eat it.
Yeah.
Nah. It's just a banana. I need something
Like a
bigger.
snack. It's a finger food. Not even that.
Pure uranium chunks. That's where it's at.
Ooh. Or whatever those crystals you found in that plant.
Okay, yeah, so with a +1 reach, you can look at other supernatural stuff,
Yes.
but it might not always give you
This
an
is true.
applicable
Yeah.
question.
Well, I'm gonna do it anyway because she said it's an artifact. So
Okay, this is going to be a
Prime.
paradox roll.
Am I being obvious about it?
Yeah, Prime is subtle.
Is Prime subtle? Oh, yeah.
Yep, Prime is
That
subtle.
works. Okay, never mind then.
Well, I don't think the gross and subtle matters. It's the obvious
Yeah.
magic. Like if I started levitating, yeah, that's.
Yeah, alright.
But if I
Okay,
just
never mind.
if I look at something and know what it is, that's not exactly
Magic.
No. magic. Yeah.
He's a witch, burn him. He knows what that thing is. In certain
no.
cultures, that is true.
All right, so 3 successes. I only did 1. But with the reach, is there?
So yeah, you get a number of questions equal to potency.
Oh dang! I didn't specify potency. I just
Well, potency is the primary factor, so you automatically get like
4.
4. Okay.
I'm at prime 4, so I assume
Yeah.
that's.
you get 3 free steps up the chart. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I can push it through that helper thing really quick.
I would just go
It's
with
just you
your
have-
4.
Okay, fair enough. So 4 questions. To which? Well, it specifies supernal, but which world is the target most closely aligned?
This one.
This one. Okay,
Material.
that makes sense.
Fallen.
How adept at the highest rated arcanum? I guess that would translate to how powerful is it at what it does?
Not very.
Not very.
You're looking at maybe a 2 Arcanum at the most.
Okay. Don't care about Gnosis or Nimbus. If I ask how much mana is in the pattern, would that tell me how much
Radiation.
or how often it can be used if it has a power source?
It doesn't look like it's holding any power. It seems like it almost draws it as it uses it.
Draws it. Could I tell where it's drawing it from? I know that's not a listed question, but
Surroundings.
okay.
It just seems to kind of be pulling in its energy, but it doesn't seem to be using a whole lot, presumably because it's not healing anything.
Okay. Well, that was technically the fourth question, so
Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever.
that's fine. That's interesting artifact you called it. How much is one of these worth? What do people normally barter to get one of these?
Not much. Couple thousand rubles at the most, depending on how bad you are at bartering.
Ruples. Titania mutters that.
How many cows is that?
Roughly. Yes, Cherry.
No, this is out of character. This is just my brain looked up what Ukrainian currency was, and it's a different thing from Russian currency. And I want to just share the word that I had to look at and try and process how to pronounce. This I posted it.
Okay.
The way you pronounce that is
Prinvia?
Harinvia. Harinvia.
Oh, that's right. There's an N there. Harinvia.
So
Harinvia. Okay.
Sorry.
Titania kind of looks at you haven't said he picked up the coins yet. She kind of just looks down at them and goes, roughly about how much is that in your ruples? I realize you probably can't give an exact estimate. I'm not at a bank. I don't expect exact.
I honestly don't know what the exchange rate to gold is, so.
Well, how valuable is gold?
How much is a gold coin in USD?
Okay, I'm trying. Cherry could probably convert this, but the thing is, there isn't enough information to properly convert this because she doesn't know like inflation rates. She doesn't know where these two things are in market value right now.
Yeah.
I imagine it's not like a solid gold coin, is it?
I believe they were.
Like how big?
What is it again?
Oh, jeez.
Eh,
I'm
No,
not
what's
gonna
the-
deal
what-
with this right now.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
yeah. That,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
nitpicking.
we can retcon this for later if we really want, but... Well, you know, assuming it's actually gold, looks like it. What's he doing? Why is he dying?
I don't know.
I'm scared.
normally they're silver, but denarius, an ancient Roman silver coin, generally worth 10 asses.
There you go.
I'm assuming it means
And
donkeys.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. We're getting off track.
It seems rather expensive.
It was silver.
Yeah, the gold coins were actually called Arius, but you know, it's my world. I can call them whatever the hell I want.
That's the spirit. I ain't a converting mastermind here, but Look, if you're so attached to this thing, I can sell it to you. I got a couple. And there, rookies are always bringing them in.
Where do these come from?
These particularly are usually found out where the, where legs are broken. Gravity. Where gravity starts to break down, these are the most common thing you find in the wreckage once it clears. If you're quick enough after it clears, they're stable enough. For the more interesting ones, you've got to run in. While it's a little more dangerous, which is why they're more pricey.
We did come.
If it's something you want to purchase. I was just curious.
Yeah,
Kalmir was just curious.
She has no plans on purchasing one, honestly.
Maybe give one to Rose. That way I don't need to
I mean,
heal her,
not,
obviously.
it is not supernal magic, so that does sound useful to have something that can heal that is not that.
Yeah.
Titania then does look over at you guys with a, do you want me to fork over more of my dad's money?
I think
No need to be hasty, friends. They're not flying off the shelves. Not anymore.
I'm trying. Well, Cherry would give you a general conversion rate between the two currencies. That would be functional. That is approximately what the conversion rate would be, though. I cannot tell you exactly without deep knowledge of exactly where both economies were and are, I suppose.
Well, aside from the, conversion rates, it's not all that important.
Yeah.
But is this something we want enough to spend money on? Kalmir does have, life magic, but, it comes at a cost, both mana and potential paradox.
It would probably be useful to have that sort of item.
She places another couple of coins on the table.
Consider it yours, friend. Now, is there anything else I can get you? Perhaps another drink, maybe something to eat.
Oh yeah,
I believe they're actually roasting a hound outside. It's not exactly good meat, not anymore, but
what is this water? This water burns.
you think I put water in my drinks?
Can I roll a stamina check to see if she can actually down this without in one shot?
Yeah, this isn't like...
I'm sure this is like almost just pure ethanol.
Well, I wasn't referencing it was weak. I was referencing it looks like water, but it's obviously not water.
Which is why
it burns.
Yeah, give me a stamina check.
Just stamina?
Too.
What else would be stamina?
Be a physical thing, maybe. I don't know. Oh wait, maybe like a stamina composure, or stamina resolve. I would say.
I'd say
one of the two.
I was gonna
say stamina resolve. I'll let you roll resolve for something.
You're determined to hold it down. That's resolve.
Yeah, this is a pathetic roll. Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Ooh, I held it down. What is this water? This water burns.
Stahl is real bad with heavy drinks in general, so he can't really even have the vodka that he had earlier.
She tries, but it's hard.
Outlanders.
She tries.
There's no chargebacks on what you spill. But I think that's a good place to end it for tonight.
Sure.
Yeah, so I know we started late, but